set, and we sometimes we call it as Python numbers. These 5 things are very important whenever we are trying to deal with what we call it as maybe a data structure, so how we are going to write your data. Now, before I start the tuple, let's a recap of what we discussed. Just some 4 lines I have written. See, what is a list actually? A list is anything but I have a set of elements and I'm going to place that in a square bracket. That means I'm going to write that something like I want to define something like name. Okay, name. So maybe some kind of Ajay, Arun, or those things. I'll put it in the square bracket and I'll try to define them. And the key for that is actually only index or number. But when I come to dictionary, I'll try to define the same thing. That means I'm going to create the elements, what I used to do in the list, but I'm going to put what is called as an identifier in the form of a key. So there I'm trying to use a square bracket. Look at this. I'm going to use a square bracket for a list, and I'm going to use, we call it as a flower bracket or a curly braces or brackets in case of a dictionary, and I'm going to give one key and a value to it. Okay, this is the major difference between your key, that is your list, and your dictionary. Now, we have another type of thing, what is called as a tuple. Okay, what is this tuple? A tuple is very similar to list. Okay, what is a tuple? A tuple is very similar to a list actually. List. The difference is we can see weakness or what we call it as the numbers or the values in case of a list, but we can't do that in case of a tuple. That's the major difference. Okay, the difference is the difference between the list and tuple is the elements or items. We call it as elements or items cannot be changed. Okay, cannot be changed in a tuple. We can change it in the list. But so this is nothing but what are the elements actually? What is the elements actually? Elements are what is it actually? It is simple, what we call it as bracket, and separated by comma. Separated by comma. Okay. See, the parentheses are sometimes some of the books they tell that parentheses can be an optional detail, but still using the parenthesis is a good option. But it's a good option or a good practice. But some books they tell that whether I can create a tuple using a parenthesis or without parenthesis also I can create it. It's always a good practice actually. The elements or items can be an integer or a float or a list or a string. So I can have, see, inside the tuple I can have one more list. So in the tuple I can have a list, I can have a string, or I can have an integer, or I can have a float. What means I can have any value that are defined in case of a do that actually. It will give an error. But I define something like as an example, if I take for example x is equal to some number, let me call it as 7, 8, 9. So what I'm trying to define actually, this is a list. This is a list actually, 6. So what is it actually? In case of a list, this is 0, 1, 2. So when I do this actually, when I try to print the x actually, what is the new number? It will be something like this. It is 7, 6, 9. This is for a list actually. But what happens in case of a tuple actually? So tuple is same. If I try to define the same using a tuple, say if x is equal to, so I use 7, 8. Say if I try to q 1, change the same thing to 1, you will get an error here. What will be the error? It will take that object doesn't support here because already you have defined this as a tuple. I can't change. So this can't be. You can't. So cannot be changed. But here I can change. So whenever I want to change the particular element, actually I will define it as a list actually. Whenever I don't want to change it actually, I will define it as a tuple. Okay. Now, one more thing. If you go back and look into C, say for example, I'm going to define the tuple in a sequence. Say, why the tuples are more efficient? See, if a Python, if it doesn't have a C, I want to build a tuple structure, which it should not be modifiable. I don't want to be, so if I can define two or three small tuples. Okay. So these tuples can be, it can be something like x of something, y of something, some z of something. These are small data values, what I'm going to define, and this I don't want to change. Okay. But they are sometimes I need to some values as a temporary variable, as some kind of a temporary variable. At that position, I make some x1. I will go with whenever I want to use some kind of a temporary variables which I need to define, change it regularly, I will define that as a list. So whenever I want to define some small variables and all, as elements and all, which I don't want to change actually, then I will go for a tuple. That's the major difference between your tuple and your list. So lists are modifs of your tuple. Okay. Now, is it necessary that tuple is only integer? It can have a mixed type also. So for example, let me call it as my tuple, my simple tuple. Okay, is defined something like, let me have one integer, let me call it as 10, 5.6 and close it. So what is it actually? This is a data type of integer. This is a data of string. Print whatever the variable I have defined. Print tuple. What I'm going to get actually? I'm going to get all the things what I have defined. Okay. That's the main advantage over here. The advantage in case of tuple is I can define a string, I can define an integer, or I can define your maybe a float which doesn't change. Okay. Okay, fine. Now, say I want to define some kind of an accessing actually. If I want to look into this particular tuples, say I'm going to define something like a string of few things, and I want to print it actually. So the list of the, or I can put it these tuples in an access using a some kind of an indexing or nesting inside it. Those also can be done whenever I go for, see, indexing. You can go from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So what we used to get it in case of a list actually. The same thing can be done in tuples also. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the indexing this thing. But one major thing is I am not going to change any kind of value to it. That is a major thing. Okay. This is about your tuple. We'll see these examples, all those things when we take codes. Okay. Now, the next type of data type what we look into it actually, it is the set actually. So what is the set actually? See, a set is nothing but it's created by all elements inside a curly braces, just like your dictionary. But in case of a dictionary, I used to have key. Here I don't need a key. Set. What is a set actually? A set is created by displaying the elements or items inside what we call it as a flower bracket or your curly braces. Okay, like separated by, come on, separated by, you should not be confused with the dictionary. See, in dictionary, what we used to do actually, so in dictionary, say for example, I am going to define something, my name, okay, what we used to do, it is one dictionary where I used to give, this is where the keys, I used to define the key. But what will happen in case of a set actually, I am going to define, say for example, name 1 or something. I am going to just simply tell it is Arun Ajay. Something like this. Okay. But here, I can have, is it necessary that I need to have an integer or a float or whatever it may be? It can be anything. So if you want to say, for example, I'm going to define with only integers itself. So if I call it as my underscore set, I can call it as this, let me call it as 1, 2, 3, because it's a simple integer. Here I had a string, so these were the two strings actually. Or if I want, I can have a mixed one also, my set 1, so I can have a mixed one, maybe a float, maybe 3.5, okay, and then maybe Arun is one more this thing. Then inside that I can have a list actually. I can have a list. So I can define by maybe 1, 2, 3. I can have a string, I can have a float, I can have an integer, and inside that I can have a list. So anything I can have. So the major difference, see, in the major difference, or I can have the, see, I can have a tuple also. See what I have, I can have a list, I can have a tuple, whatever it may be, I can define it actually. Okay. Now, see, when we try to do this particular thing, so when I try to define this in the curly braces, or I can define an empty set also without any elements. So what I'm going to get actually, say for example, if I define something like my set 2 and empty braces, it's going to create an empty set actually. It's going to create an empty set actually. The sets are, so see, when I try to print it actually, here the major difference between a list and here is actually, here it is something, everything is indexed. See, everything is indexed. Okay, what is it actually? What is it actually? Indexed means I'm going to order it, ordering. That means I'm going to write it as 0, 1, 2, 3, something like that. But in case of a set, I don't have indexing as no meaning. That's a major difference. In case of a set, see, sets are mutable means I can change it. So see, sets are, I can, see here, the major thing is actually, let me write that. Sets are, is what most of the books write actually. Sets are mutable, the first point. They are unordered, or they don't have any order sequence. Okay, they don't have any order sequence. Or if you want to use a single word, it is unordered. And indexing doesn't have any meaning at all here. So indexing, the third point is the indexing has no meaning. The indexing has no meaning at all. And one more major thing is actually that type C, that some types actually indexing, or we call it as a slicing. So what we used to do in the slicing means actually, say I want to read a particular data in the list actually, I used to do it very easily. But here it's difficult. In case of a set, it's difficult. Okay. Or if I want to, so here I can add and remove all those things. I can do it actually. It's immutable. Okay. So let me take one example and show you. So say for example, if let me go with an integer. So let me call it as num. Okay. It's an example. Num is equal to, let me define 1, 3. Now if I try to print this, print num, what will be my output? I'll be getting 1 and 2. Okay, I'll be getting 1 and 2. So that's what 1 and 3, what I'm going to get. Now I want to add it actually. So it's a mutable. What I told, it's a mutable. So like what I will do actually, it is num. So if you go to this your terminal, the moment you type the text, already you defined this as a set, you will get num add. Okay, what I want to add actually, let me add some 5. Okay, this particular thing, if I add, what I'm going to get, where I'm going to get actually, what will be your output? I need to get that actually. So if I try to output, what I should get actually, earlier it was, say add the second point. See, I'm trying to add 2. Where it is getting added? I don't have this particular sequence. So it will add in the middle or it will add at the end. Okay, add an element. This is nothing but I am trying to add an element. What is that element? That element is your 5. Okay, so this is what I am going to do actually. So if I try to tell num dot add this particular number 5. Now if I try to print it, what I am going to get? If I try to, after adding print num, so what will be the output actually? So the output will be something like this. So if I, for the first case, the output will be, it used to be 1, 3. Okay. Now for the second case, what I'm going to get actually, it has to be, see, I'm going to get 1, 3, 5. That means if I'm going to see, it goes, see, it's unordered means sequence. See, they don't have any order sequence. I'm going to define something, the automatically this will arrange in your one particular sequence. That's it. They don't have any order of sequence what I'm trying to put. So wherever I want, I can define it. Simply I will go, they will arrange themselves. They will arrange themselves. Okay. So you have an add method, or if I want to add multiple elements, we call it as update. Update thing is also there. Or if I want one more, I can add it. So if I go and if I try to add num add, okay, let me add some 2 numbers. See, it's a 2 number. It's sorry, multiple numbers. I need to use update. Okay, num update. Okay, so let me update with some kind of a, okay, so let me update with 1. I'm going to update with some 4, 5. Okay, the square bracket I'm using, so that I'm using a list. Let me add with some 1, 6, 2, 4. Let me add 2, 4, smaller number. Okay, 2, 4. So here I am, let me add 1, 6 and 8. Okay, I'm closing the bracket. I'm just updating it. Now what will be my output if I try to print this actually? Now if I try to print this num, I can see the output. What it will be? It will be in a sequence. That is, for the smallest number will come first, then second number 2, then I'm going to get 4, then I'm going to get 6, then I'm going to get 8 actually. That means I didn't input, see, or unordered input. See, I'm trying to put it, see, unordered input, but my output will is sequence. This is my output. I need not, in whatever the way I try to put it. It can be as simple as a list, or it can be one more, maybe what I told, it's a the previous thing, what I discussed, it was a tuple, whatever it may be, I'm going to discuss, I'll be getting like this. And one more, as I told you, it's a mutable, so I can remove the element. Okay. If I want to remove one particular, that means, see, I want to define this number. See, I want to remove 6 in it. So what I will do? Simply I will go and num discard, okay, 6. I'm going to discard 6 actually. Then what should be my output? Output will be something like, if I try to discard, output will be, it's going to take 1, 2, 4, 8 will be my output. So that my 6 here is discarded from whatever I'm going to input. No, this 6 is discarded. I can add, I can update, or I can, if you want, you can remove. So you have two options, either discard or you can remove also. So both functions will work, remove and discard. So see, if I try to use, it all depends on it. Say if I try to discard a function or set, actually the set unchanged actually. On the other hand, if I use a remove function, so sometimes the remove function will raise an error if the element is not present. Say for example, if I use this command, say for example, if I use remove, I'm going to use some number. Okay, I use a discarded, it is removed. I'm going to use this remove function which is not existing. They remove some 10 or remove 5. See, either I can use a discard function or remove function, but remove function will give an error. Okay, discard function will simply, if the element is not present in the set also, it will just run actually. See, the major difference between the discard function leaves that particular, whatever the set I have defined, unchanged if the element is not present in the set. But on the other hand, if I try to use the remove function, it will give an error condition or it will give an error situation if that element is not present in the set. So that is a major difference between your discard. So discard is one function, okay, and remove is one more function. These are something like additional operations we try to use when we are using the sets actually. So what are the advantage of the set operations? Okay, what are the advantages actually? Advantage is something like, say for example, I want to define, so you all know that sets you are studied in your school level. Okay, let me define something like, I will define a set. So let me call that, let's take an example. Okay, let me define some A. A is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me be very simple, school level. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to define one more thing. Let me call it as B. Let it continue it. So let it be some number 3, 4, 5 or something. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What are these actually? These are the two sets. Okay, these are two sets. Now I want to do the operation. What type of operation? I want to get an union operator. Okay, I want to do an union operation. So the union operation is given by. So what I will do actually, simply I will print, okay, A union B. The moment I do this, what will be my output? My output will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So what is it actually? You can try this on the Python shell. You will get the same thing. Now, so what is it actually? What is it actually? It is something like, you should go back and see actually. This is your set A. This is your set B. This is your A union B. So here I'll be having 1, 2. Okay. Here I'll be having 6, 7. So here A you will be having 3, 4, 5, which is common to both set A and set B. It's a union operator. So this is my union operator because this is one set. This is set A, this is set B. This kind of operations I can do in your using your Python. So you can try this in the Python shell. See, you can also try, say for example, union. See, union of what? Say some of the Python, I think 2.7 and all. I think now 3 points to use this one. Earlier, I think I checked actually when I was learning. Even I have used this also. That is union of this particular thing. Even that code also, which I think I'm not sure whether it was 3.3, but it works actually. This used to work actually. Instead of this symbol, we used to use union of B or union of A, something like that. We used to use. Even those codes also will work actually. So something like A dot union B or B dot union A, something like we use those things also will work actually. You can try that also. So the something like A dot union B or D dot union A. This also may work, but this is fine. This is the what we have been using. We have been using now the simple one straight line. Okay, that is used as this particular thing. What about for the intersection? Okay, so I can see intersection means what is common. Okay, already I have defined this particular thing. So for intersection, what I use actually A, and B. So if I want intersection, this is for union. Okay. Now if I want to find the intersection, what I will do? Print A, and B. This is for intersection. So what I'm going to get actually, this is what I'm going to get 3, 4, 5. So output, what will be your output? The output will be 3, 4, 5. So this is see, this is for set A, which is to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and B is to have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So whatever we have actually, this is your A intersection B, whatever we have which is common to both A and B, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, I'm going to get the printout. Okay. So you want to find the some operations, some operations we have tried actually. What is the difference between the A and B, A minus B, A plus B, all the things are a difference between that or maybe A minus B. If you want, we can try that also. Okay. Difference within the bracket, whatever the set you want. So that is to be one per thing, or you can simply find A minus B or something like that. Difference of set B from set A, that is A minus B. It's a set of elements that are only in that particular A but not in B. What is the meaning of it actually? A minus B. If I want to define a set, say for example, A minus B. If I try to define it, what is it actually? It's a set of elements. See, what is A minus B? This is nothing but the set of elements that are only present in A, that are only in A but not in B, but not in B. Now if I try to use this command, and already I have defined the set, print A minus B. What are the things which are there only in A which is not there in B? It is, if you go back and see, if you go back and see, I do 3, 4, 5 is there in, which is common in both. What is there only which is only in A which is missing in B? It is 1, 2. So when I tell A minus B, that means I'll be getting my output as it is 1, 2. So I can do lot many operations. Or I think in the previous 2.7 earlier when we had a 2.5 or Python 2 shell, we used to add difference within the bracket, just like union. No, we used to have the same operations we used to do. Symmetry also we can try. Okay, symmetry operation also we can try. What is it actually? We have, this is the difference. So symmetry operation is also there. Symmetry means we used to put the operator. What is that? The hyphen. So what is it actually? Symmetry is nothing but it's a symmetry difference of A and B. That means I have a set of elements A and B, but not in both. Okay, what is it actually? So if I try to use that, what is it actually? Which are present in both. See, which are present in both. See, if I try to use that, so it is called as symmetry difference. So what is the operator we use actually? This is the one. I'm going to use that particular thing. So if I try to use that, print A operator, that is your hyphen operator B, what is it actually? What is it going to see? If you go back and see here actually, see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is my set A and B. Now if I try to look into it actually, what is common here? 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5 is common. So what is the difference between this particular thing actually? Then now if I try to print it, what are the things which I'm going to get actually? So what are the things I'm going to get if I use that particular operator? So I'm going to get 1, 2, 6, 7. My output for this symmetric difference will be, it is 1, 2, 6, 7. So you can try all those things. Even I think we in the Python 2 it used to be SYMMETRIC underscore difference. That used to be the simple function we used to use, and we used to get the run the codes. Actually, we can try a lot many things. Even you have a copy, you have the disk intersection, even you can either disjoint, and even if you have the option called as actually update, lot many functions are there. So those functions also can be used actually. But you can explore it. But what is it actually? Set your list, your dictionaries, and your tuple. So these are the things which we use whenever we are trying to look for the your data actually. Whenever I try to look for the data, and I'm going to use it actually. Okay. Now, as I told, this is a number. See, Python numbers. Okay. So number types, Python number type conversion, all those things we discussed actually. But here, what are the different types of things which we get? We have been discussing on integer, float, and we have the number. I'm only looking at the numbers. See, when you look at the Python numbers, when you look at the Python numbers, strings are not present here. So we have integers, we have the float, and we have one more thing which is called as the complex numbers. Okay. Now, complex numbers, what is it actually? Say, for example, I'm going to define something called as x. Okay. And I'm going to define something as y. X is a real part. This is a real part, and this is an imaginary part. This already we know this. So whenever I'm trying to write the complex this thing, how I'm going to write? It is x plus y. So x plus y means I do have a complex number. So the x plus y, it is a complex number which is having a real part and an imaginary part. Okay. So if you want to check for it actually, type and that particular whatever the variable I have defined, I'll be getting the corresponding what type of function it is. Okay. Now, say for example, let me define some x, y, and all. Let me define. Let me go start with a. I'm going to define a is equal to some 5. Okay. Now, if I try to print type a, okay, what I'm going to get actually, I should get it is of class integer. Fine, it's of class integer. Now let me have one more thing. B is equal to some maybe 4.5. If I try to print type B, so it is of a class, okay, a float. This already we know that. What will happen if I have a complex one? Okay, let me try. Let me define something called as C, which is equal to some 5 plus 3 or whatever it may be. But I want to see 5, say let me call it as 5 plus 2. I have to define it as a J or whatever it may be. Okay. Now, if I want to print it, if I want to print it, so it will say I need to get that port actually. What should I do actually? Print. Say I have to print this is C. Okay. Print this as 2. Then, if I want to check for this, so what is it actually? Is it true or not? What type of instance actually? What type of instance it is actually? So then I have to go for this option is the print is instance. Okay, instance instance of your C, the complex. Okay. So what is the output I'm going to get? For this one, I'm going to get an output as 8 plus 2j. Okay, this will be the output. And for this, it will give an output because it is a complex number. So it will check for the condition of it. It is true. Okay. So is it, see, sometimes we may check for other types of number systems also. So binary is what we are using, or hexadecimal is what is also used actually. That those things also we can check it. Okay. Now, say for example, sometimes we have been using in your most of your number systems. So if I try to add an integer and a float, okay. So if I try to add, say for example, a is equal to, or simply directly, so if I try to add, okay, 1 plus 4.5. So what will be my output? It is 5.5. If I try to check for this type of this particular thing, if I try to check this type, automatically it is the class float. It is a class float. That means whenever I do an operation, whether it is with the float, automatically the integer also gets converted to a float. So we can see that an integer, it's what we call it as coercive. It squares into a float because of an operation. So this is an operator, and the result is always a floating point operation. Okay. Or sometimes if I try to float, actually, if I try to put, I have an integer. Let me write an integer. That is, if I write float of some number 8. Okay. So what I will get actually, my output will be 8.0. Okay. Now, if I try to say, for example, I want to define some number. So it is a complex one. I can define it a complex, say 3 plus some 5j, whatever it may be, I can define. So what I'm going to get the output? My output will be 3 plus 5j. So these are the different methods where you can define it actually. Or sometimes I have a decimal. See, your Python has a built-in float actually. They have some built-in float, say 1.1 plus 2.1. See, so if I want to check it actually, say for example, I want to check, say 2.2 plus 4.4. Is what the thing is, it's not equal to, see 2.2 plus 4.4. Was it actually 6.6? But if I try to use a double equal to this particular thing, if I try to check it, my condition, what I'm going to get is a false. Okay, whenever I use this I think sometimes when people are writing this code, actually that right, this actually will lead to this kind of a conditional statement. So it's an assignment. See, a single equal sign is nothing an assignment. A double equal sign, actually, if you want to check it, see, float, it will depend on what type of, whether I'm using a 8-bit or 16-bit, whatever it may be, it goes by those things actually. A decimal operation is going to take. Say, for example, what is it actually? See, what is, say, for example, 1/3. See, if I try to simply tell 1/3 is a decimal. This will give, what is it actually? This is, if I try to give, it is going to give 0.333333, something like that. Which is of, what is it actually? Which may go up to infinity. And we can only, it's an approximate. See, it becomes an approximate. 1/3 is equal to 0.333 is an approximate. Now, what we are trying to do here actually, we are trying to check this with respect to some, we are defining a number. So whenever you are trying to do this particular thing, we'll end up with an error. So what your Python will do is actually, it will do something like this. Say, for example, if I take this, say 2.2 plus 4.4, what it does actually, it will do something like this, 6.6, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, something like it is going to do. To whatever decimal, say some number will be there. At that particular point, you may get 1 or something. So that's why this is not equal to this 6.6. Okay, that's why what we, some of the things, sometimes what we do is actually we have what is called as a decimal. We try to import the decimal to what level you want. You want to round it off to 2 decimals or 3 decimals. Whenever you are doing the mathematical operations, we'll try to do that. I want to round it off to 2 decimals. I want to round it off to 4 decimals. We'll do that. It's something like, I want an output to 6.60 or 6.60 or 6.6. I want to check it. So 1.1. So D, see, what we do is actually, we'll try to put D 1.1. So what is this D actually? D is nothing but a decimal, what I'm going to do. So all these things we have to be a bit careful when you are doing the mathematical operations. This is what we are trying to do with the numbers. So when we are trying to deal, see, what are these actually? All these are data operations. So data, so what is the list, dictionary, your tuple, your set, your numbers, all these things we are going to use it for your mathematical operation. Some kind of an operation or some kind of a data analysis we are going to do it actually. Okay, fine. So we'll try to stop here.